Welcome to Sketchy Ideas, the live point counterpoint video podcast where we illustrate and debate concepts surrounding leadership, business, and personal achievement in a way that may make you think twice before you implement that new idea you just learned about on the internet. I'm Michael Rampolla.
I'm Brad James.
And we are your hosts for Sketchy Ideas. In today's episode, Brad is going to explain and illustrate when SMART goals don't work and how to get a better result through just doing. All right, Brad, this is your chance, your turn. Take it away.
All right, thanks, Michael. So I'm actually going to start with going over what Michael talked about the last time in terms of SMART goals, all right? So initially we talked about SMART goals, and Michael, correct me if I am wrong about any of this stuff, right?
Fair enough.
So simple, measurable, right? Achievable, resource, and time sensitive, right? Or time
based, you got it. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start by saying this. That's a lot of stuff to plan for.
You're not wrong.
Right? All right. So if we understand that in order to create a SMART goal, I have to think about, is it simple? I have to figure out how to measure it. I have to understand myself if it's achievable. I have to understand if I have the resources, and I have to understand the time requirements around it. Right? Am I getting it pretty much right?
Pretty much right. Yep, you got it.
All right. Anything I missed? Last chance.
Yeah, S is sometimes simple. It's also sometimes specific. So either way will work.
Specific. All right. Simple or specific. So even more.
I would say both
cool.
are good. Yeah. More.
All right. Cool. All right. More details for me to think about.
Yep.
And just think about and ponder and not move forward. Just think. So you want to go get a rocking chair and come sit on the front porch?
Sure.
Yeah, I bet you do. All right. So SMART goals. SMART goals. Garbage.
Oh, you're literally throwing the towel at me now. Okay. All right. Bring it on. What do you got?
So SMART goals work when you know this. And I'm going to illustrate a simple concept that some people know, some people don't know. For those of you who don't know, this is called the Hedgehog Theory. Right?
Yep, I'm with you.
And in business, we use this to understand what we should be doing is at the confluence of these three things. And these three things have to deal with passionate about, they have to deal with money, and they have to deal with doing, like the ability to do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I know all three things, cool. Then maybe I can do a SMART goal. Maybe I can do a SMART goal. But realistically, how many people actually understand and can measure their passion, the money it takes, and their ability to do in order to execute on a SMART goal? I would say it's not a ton of people. I would say it's people with a lot of information to back it up. I would say it's giant organizations and corporations who have literally an understanding of all the details and the history track. I would say it's probably not 98% of the people in the world, right? All right.
I'll give you that.
All right. So if we understand that I have to plan, and if I don't understand this hedgehog concept and I don't know what I'm good at, then guess what? What does planning equal most of the time in the long run?
It's just time.
Procrastination.
Analysis, procrastinate. I'm starting to think analysis. So this is analysis paralysis.
Analysis by paralysis. Exactly.
Did I walk into that one?
S-M-A-R-T. S-M-A-R-T. SMART means procrastination, because I think about everything. Everything. I got to think about specific details. I have to think about measurements. I have to think about, can I actually do it? And then I build anxiety and I think about all the what ifs and what could go wrong and how to overcome that stuff and how I have to get like Hey, if my SMART goal is I have a wall and this is me, right? I have to go, hey, we're going to say this wall is 8 feet tall, right? And it goes forever. I can think about how many different ways to get over this wall, right? I am 6'1". 1, can I jump? Do I have a ladder? Can I dig a hole? If I dig a hole, will the wall fall? If my ladder climb up the ladder, will the ladder break? Is somebody there to hold the ladder? Right? I can think about this. Is a bear going to come up behind me and chase me? Rawr. So when SMART goals fail is because people begin to analyze and analyze and analyze because we're thinking about every single what if that could potentially happen. All right? And when we think about just the what if could happen, we begin to go, I could do this, I could do this. Maybe I'll get distracted by a tool because we need a tool to actually execute on it. Oh, but then if I use a tool, I have to measure how I'm going to do it. But then I actually have to learn how to use the tool. And if I don't know how to use the tool, then I got to find somebody to use the tool. And hopefully they understand how to use the tool the way that I envision. Therefore, rather than me doing that, there's a couple little things that I want to talk through that are way better than SMART goals. We ready for this?
All right, bring it on.
All right. And this is a little something from one of my mentors. We can just do. He uses a term called VISTAS for leaders. All right? Vision, intent, strategy, tactics, accountability, and support. Okay? So the reason I bring this up is because realistically, if somebody's going to try and do anything, they need to just have a vision. And that vision doesn't have to be defined. It doesn't have to be a SMART goal. It doesn't have to be anything, but there typically is an intent behind it. And that intent is typically a motivator. And that motivator typically is wealth, health, relationships, or something along the like, right? And so if the strategy then, rather than developing a SMART goal to achieve the vision, is to just start doing because you don't know what the heck you're good at. You don't know what's going to drive economics. You don't know what the passion is because you don't know and you need to explore, right? So the only way you can figure that out is through doing. Thomas Edison didn't have a plan to make a light bulb. He just started making them.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Benjamin Franklin threw a kite up in the air in order to generate electricity on a key. They all just got off the porch and started doing things, right? They did things. Another thing that people talk about are these things called FTAGS. Are you familiar with FTAGs?
I'm about to be.
These are fast, tangible, active goals. You see something, you do it. It's a small step. It could be in any direction, but if it's generally towards the vision with the intent you want, it's fast, tangible, active goals. Hey, I got to clean my room. I'm just going to clean my room. Hey, I got to brush my teeth. I'm going to wake up and brush my teeth. Hey, I need to write down this one thing. I'm just going to write down this one thing because at the end of the day, if I am moving in a direction, I am moving forward. I am moving forward. Vision, intent, if I know where I need to go, generally the direction, I can go that way. If I get lost in the woods, I don't set a goal. I pull out a compass and I go north. Or if I don't have a compass, I look at the sun and I go, the sun goes east to west, and I can go east or west. Or I could go south, or I could go north. I pick a direction and I go. Fast, tangible, active goal, right? Small little details on how to make progress when you don't know how to execute on a SMART goal because you're still sitting on the porch thinking about everything that could go wrong. Get it?
I'm with you so far.
With that. All right. So the cool thing is that if we do approach things with just moving forward, heading towards the direction or the general vision that I want, right? Your North Star, doing FTAGs, just picking up and doing things and trying things to see if they work, you know what happens?
What happens, Brad?
We begin to figure this stuff out. We begin to figure out what we like to do. We begin to figure out what we are good at. And we begin to figure out, will it achieve economically? And economics being, will it make money? Is it getting towards my goal, right? Is it getting to where I want it to go? Just through exploration.
Now, is that the same 3-part wheel as the hedgehog, or have we modified our framework?
Same thing. Same hedgehog. Passion, ability, economics. Same hedgehog, same concept, same cute little furry animal that moves you in the right direction to be the best at whatever you want to do, that gets you from the goal you want to be at. You're good at it. You like doing it. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Do I need to give examples?
You know, I want one. Of course. Back it up, Brad.
Should I just do the coup de grace right now?
Well, I don't know what you're waiting for.
You don't know what I'm waiting for?
No, I don't. What are you waiting for? Bring it on. What do you got?
How did we get sketchy ideas going?
Okay. All right. So you're saying we just started doing. You're using the meta framework of this conversation to prove out that what we are doing is really just a function of passion, resources, and taking action. All right, I'll allow it. I'll allow it for now. I'll reserve the right to redirect later. I don't know. I see. Okay. Let's go back to your wall for a second. What is that hedgehog going to do against the brick wall?
All right. Now can you hear me?
I can hear you. So I set you up with the hedgehog against the brick wall, and you're going to have to tell us what
hedgehog against the brick wall.
What are you drawing there? Tell us what that is.
I'm trying to move forward, right? If there's a brick wall, the wall's in the way, right?
Yep.
And so if I know I'm getting to this brick wall and I have to at some point get to across the brick wall so that we can understand that I want to end up over here, right? Maybe that's just the general direction. I don't know what's over here. I have no clue what's over here because there's a 10-foot brick wall. So I can't see through the brick wall. So therefore, I don't know if I want to be there. I don't know why I want to be there. I've just chosen a direction. I don't know what I don't know. So if I have a bunch of questions about where I'm trying to go and I don't know what I'm good at, and I don't know what I'm passionate about, I just have a gut feeling that something needs to happen, right? So therefore, if I hedgehog here, right, I need to do, okay, probably if I'm thinking about the brick wall just heading in this direction, each of these are going to be, this is a pit, this is a tree. I need to figure out what I'm good at along the way, right? And so that's this bottom left-hand circle, right? Good at. I know that maybe I like climbing trees. Maybe I like heading towards the sun, right? Maybe I determine this stuff. Maybe I want to head back the other way. Who knows? But unless you begin to explore this stuff, You never know what you're going to be good at. And once you understand what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and what's economically sustainable, whatever economics mean, right, to you, that can be time, money, relationships, it could be a whole bunch of stuff, right? Then, cool. Then maybe, just maybe I can start setting SMART goals. But even then, I still might sit on the porch too much, because SMART goals realistically equals planning, and planning equals procrastination, because most people sit there and think through every single thing that could happen and don't get off the porch.
So I'm getting the sense that the Hedgehog's approach, the VISTAS approach, has a bias towards exploration.
Sometimes.
Okay. Does it ever have a bias towards specific achievements?
Of course.
Tell me more about that, because I'm getting a strong sense of exploration without necessarily arriving at a goal or arriving at an outcome. I'm trying not to use the word goal, because you're very intentionally, and I am okay with that, very intentionally avoiding the goal idea here. So what about achievement or realization of an outcome?
Realization of an outcome. So if we look at it from this standpoint, sometimes we are just told generally which direction we are supposed to go.
Okay.
Right? If I am a kid in school sitting at my desk learning, right? And there is a teacher over here teaching, trying to teach me something, right?
Yep.
They don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what I'm good at. I just know I'm supposed to do. And if I do, eventually something will come to me and I will be good at it. Or eventually the goal, quote unquote, if you wanted to make a goal, is to graduate. But that's according to systems that have been put in place. Where I'm saying, but if long-term that isn't exactly what's needed, maybe there is no intent behind that goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the general vision is, I want to be outside all day. Okay.
That sounds about right to me. Yeah, I remember those days. All right.
I've also decided that this video show that we're doing is definitely going to help my art skills.
I wasn't saying anything, but you can self-commentary on your sketches. All right.
What you got,
so,
Michael? Let's hear it.
Well, we're saving the debate for next time. So I'm trying to tread lightly into your space here and just pull out everything I can, so everybody else watching, observing, listening can learn everything that they can. If I am the hedgehog, how do I figure out what's in those three wheels? I've got the passion, I've got the resources, the economics, my must do or can do. Do I know those things going in, or is that part of my VISTAS setup?
You just got to figure it out along the way, right?
You figure it out along the way.
Yeah. You can't plan necessarily all the time.
So if you remember last week, I think I used this analogy. I used the analogy of just getting in your car and starting to drive. And if I just get in my car and I start to drive and I don't have a destination, will I ever get there?
You might find a restaurant if you're trying to go to a restaurant.
I didn't have a restaurant. I just started driving. I'm just
hungry. So you drive around, you find a restaurant.
So I do have a need. Something got me in motion.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
A motivator, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Health, wealth, relationships, big motivators. Totally.
So that's your I and your VISTAS, right? That motivator.
Yeah, the intent.
The intent. Okay. So your VISTAS approach, your VISTAS crossing with your hedgehog intent. Okay. All right. If I remember right, you said you've got some stats to back this up, and I hate math, but I love data. So do you want to?
I got to pull up my handy dandy Google device.
I've heard of the Google. Yeah. I want you to make your full case, and then I think it's a good time to put a wrap on it. But tell me, I want you to give a chance to give your best shot all the way to the hilt here.
All the way to the hilt.
Yeah, go all in.
All right,
let's do it.
So I'll give you a prime percentage of people who, based on stats from America, every New Year's Eve there's polls that are done, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. So every year, about 1/3 of America builds New Year's Eve goals, SMART goals. 1/3. Okay. And only 9% of that 1/3 say that their plan and their SMART goals have helped them get to where they want to go. So therefore, if we break it down even further, right? So that's 3%. SMART goals only work for 3% of people. Now, the other piece is, looking at my other note here.
So 1/3 of sample size make resolutions, 1/3 of that 1/3 achieve them.
No, only 9% of that 1/3 achieve them. So
9%,
I rounded it up to 10.
9% of the third. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That is a much smaller number.
Mm-hmm. That is totally, if we do the math and we just round it up, right? About 3%.
I'll give you that.
Right? 3% of the overall population.
Okay.
So if we were to double it, right, we could probably round it up. If we'd said everybody planned, we'd say about 10% of people SMART goals would work for. If everybody in the US did a SMART goals plan, right, followed SMART goals every year, they would get to that point.
Okay.
The other thing that happens typically is if we look at just basic motivation, and I can't find my stat because I don't know where it went.
That's all right.
But if we look at the science of psychology, right, people like to reminisce, especially if they're intelligent, on every option that could happen, because people at the end of the day want to be risk averse. So therefore, they get stuck in the planning because it's a distraction for them, and it feels like doing something rather than actually executing on something.
So risk avoidance as a function of analysis, or analysis to achieve risk avoidance. Are the people analyzing the same people setting resolutions, or are they the other 2/3? What's your guess?
In terms of the overall statistics?
Yeah, so if we're saying 1/3 of the people in America set a resolution January 1st, are those the same people doing the analysis, or the 2/3 not setting the resolutions the ones stuck in analysis so they never actually bother setting a resolution? What do you think?
I'm saying it's probably a combination of both.
Okay, so now we got an overlap.
If we're really going to dive into statistics, right?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. All right, so that's another thing for us to explore is what is the overlay of those who set goals versus those who don't, those who have resolutions versus those who analyze, those who understand their passions and their resources and their must-dos versus those who are stuck in risk aversion by way of analysis. All right, I'm looking. Okay, yeah. This is a good setup.
It is. I like it.
All right, last chance before we hit the wrap. Anything else you want to put on the record?
No, I'm gonna hang on to some of my.
All right.
My fireworks for next time, I think.
I appreciate your technique. I think I'm doing the same, and I was not going to telegraph it, but I think I just did. Well, you just learned all about from Brad, who made a very valiant attempt. I have to honor your attempt. I'm not saying you win because we still have to have that part out. You just learned all about when to stop goal setting and just start doing. And in this week's episode, we are going to answer your questions on these two topics and debate which approach works best. So that means we need your questions. Best way to get us your questions is to send them by email to sketchyideas@ccmediagroup.co, sketchyideas@ccmediagroup.co. Email those in so we can have them ready to go in our debate coming up in week 3. Then we'll figure out which way works better. Smart goals, no smart goals, just do. You'll also get to meet our producer, Brian Omeg, who will make sure that we have a refereed but quality debate. We'll call it a debate. It's not a fight. It's a debate, a quality debate about when to use each of the approaches. So come back next week when we debate all these sketchy ideas live. And remember, just because it's a sketchy idea doesn't mean it's not worth exploring. With that, I'm Michael Rampolla.
I'm Brad James.
Thanks for joining us for Sketchy Ideas. We'll see you next week.